Baby. Oh, baby. Kong. We are live together for the first time in forever. How the heck are you doing? We got lots to catch up on. We got lots of people in the house. Matty Pesk. We got Cassius, the man himself, in the house. We got Crypto Baby H, J Dub. Let's go. Okay. How the heck are you, Kong? What's going on with you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, bro. It is so good to be back with you, man. Long time coming. So much
Yes.
going on.
We
Great
got
to be
lots.
here.
We got lots to catch up on. In fact, we've got so much to catch up on. I think we'll break this up into 2 videos, not tonight, but okay.
Right.
So as not to make this one too long. Okay. So I just got off the phone with Josh, George's right-hand man. We're literally on for 6 hours. Baby, Kupo in the house. Let's go.
What's up, guys?
Kong, I love you, miss you. All right, so let's get right into it. First of all, I got freaking scammed this freaking week, and I can't believe it. I cannot believe this happened. So first of all right, this is a tweet thread. Here's an example. I don't even know who this person is. Goodbye. I don't even know what this tweet's about. It just took me like 5 minutes to find a tweet thread. Welcome to my life. Okay. So this is Goodbye's account, and Goodbye did a thread. So I finally just searched thread. Okay. And so when a thread happens, you see this line happening right here on Twitter. And this Goodbye is doing a long thread of tweets about whatever it is they're talking about here. All of these tweets are a part of this thread. You see the line on the side.
Yep.
Okay. And so here's what was happening. I haven't messed with airdrops at all. I gave up on airdrops, and I'm like, more power to you, Brown Gent and Christian Peter. Every time I try to do an airdrop, and I've literally tried hundreds, and I've gotten little airdrops and made like $5 an airdrop and stuff like that, even in the Cosmos ecosystem. But I've always missed the big, meaningful ones. And then I see so many scams in them, and you really got to know what you're doing when messing with airdrops. I just stopped messing with them, except there is this one project I was looking at, and a lot of people were talking about. The gem hunters were talking about it. Miles was talking about it. And so they're like, look, there might be this airdrop. We've got 24 hours where you can kind of play around with this test net. And I did. It's legit. I did the steps. I did all this stuff to play around. It was like a Bitcoin ordinals, like EVM compatibility, cross-chain communication, cool looking protocol.
It was it Satoshi SV or something of that nature?
Satoshi SV, I think. Yeah, that's right. But I'm with the kids. I had the kids last weekend, but I was doing it and it worked. It was cool. Everything was good under the pretense of, okay, I'm looking more into projects more and more and more. I'm always looking at projects all the time. And like, hey, this might be an interesting project to follow. I'm just more in tune with what's going on all the time out there in the Twitter world. Okay.
Yep.
Alpha stuff. And so we're covering stuff on George's newsletter, covering different things all the time. Topics. Noah's the guy there, but I'm helping Noah with a lot of that stuff with George. Okay. And so like, this was a good one. Legit. And so then the next day it was like, whoa. And I'm hanging out with the kids. There actually is an airdrop and it's live, because here's what happened. What was it? It's Satoshi SV or whatever it's called, sent out a tweet with a big update. And it was like an official tweet. They deleted the tweet because of the scam, which I'm kind of salty against them because they never responded to me. They never reached out to me. I'm like, F them. It's fine. I didn't expect them to, but it's like, geez, no love at all whatsoever. But now apparently it actually did happen. But what happened was the airdrop was not live. They sent out a legit tweet, and then there looked to be a thread below it. And it, to me, was just clear it was a thread. And
it was right below the initial
that's right
post, correct? Like directly below it.
Directly below it. And it all looked so legit. Okay. So just like this. But and I did like do my little due diligence, like, hey, okay, so I double checked. Yep, their account was real. Looks good. Because when I first did it, it makes me so leery doing airdrops. Like I even was starting to do one that Eric David Tippett was like real excited about. Eric David Tippett and the Brown Gent, they're doing all these airdrops.
Yep.
And if you're going to do it, you really got to have your SHIT together. You got to do it right. You got to know what you're doing. And I'm just like
you got to have a process almost, and you can't screw from it.
Oh my gosh, there's so much that can happen. So, and it just like that, I blink and it's done. It happens. So like just this one time, I'm like, hey, I might as well, I go check out the site, and it was the same site that I had just been on the day before. Everything looked good. I double checked the tweet. The tweet was good, but I didn't double check. Anytime there's a thread, you want to make sure, okay, it's the same person in the thread. That's what I didn't do. So I click the link, and as soon as I freaked out and was like, you guys, I think I just got scammed, like 5 people hit me up, including Panda himself. Panda himself with the Gym Hunters, who's a bomb, good dude.
Yeah, no, we've had him on the show.
He was just, had him on the show before. He was just about to get scammed himself on the same thing, and like 5 other people. And then I hear like 15, 20 people got scammed on it too.
There's no telling how many people that actually happened to. If you heard about 15 or 20, it was probably 200.
Oh my gosh. And I couldn't even tell what's from what. So because I clicked the damn link and I connect my wallet, and I'm like, oh, wow. So this connects with not only Ethereum, but the Binance Smart Chain, with Polygon, with like all these different chains. And before I knew it, even my Pulse chain, that I had just cashed out of my Pulse chain, but left a bag in there that had gone up a lot. I don't even know how much on that got taken. I think I actually got taken for like 20 grand. Okay. And so I'm just like, good God. And I was hanging out with my kids. It was like, I was just going to do it real quick, because if I didn't do it right then, it just wasn't going to happen. And I always miss out on the airdrops. And this one I actually knew was legit and followed it. And like, good God.
Yeah, that's what they bank on, man, is that you're in a hurry. You got a couple things going on. You're clicking. You're not 100% engaged. And that's what they, that's how they get people.
That's right. And so then it's like, I can't believe this actually just freaking happened to me. And it happened so fast. And I was so close to I felt so weird. I hate ever doing anything like that. That's why I never do them. Like, I'm still salty. I missed the Celestia airdrop, for example. I should get all the Cosmos airdrops. I should get all of them. But I never go in there and mess with it anymore for this very reason. And so I missed just like, you got to hit the claim button. So like, George, I need to tell George, because he keeps saying, you should never have to claim anything. Well, no, most of them you kind of do, actually, because I never get the damn airdrops. So I got to go in there and claim it. Here's what happened with Celestia. That was a biggie, and I missed it. And because I missed the window of claiming, it went then to all the other people that did claim. And it's like, F you guys and your effing mother effing airdrops. Damn it. So, okay. So that was bad. That was rough to deal with there. That was some rough dealings. Okay. Because, I mean, that was kind of like my backbone. I had just a lot of my blue chip, like, is kind of like my savings account before I cash out here, which I'm going to need to soon. Man, and it was some of my lower cap gems that had pumped. I lost a lot of my Crotty token, a lot of different things.
That stings, man.
Like
when it's a
Chainlink, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I had wrapped Bitcoin on there that I was kind of using a little bit to buy some of the lower cap gems occasionally, that I was.
And it just was instantly all gone. Like soon as you got
back in, as soon as I
connected
all of the wallets and all the I was just like going through what I thought. And so like even when it first popped up, I remember I was leery and I come back in and double check, triple check again. Like, is this legit? And I was like, yeah, it's legit. So then I realized like, holy crap, all these approvals that I just did, it literally just drained those specific tokens that I just approved. I think that's all it did. So
as the approvals were happening, it was instantaneous.
and
Boom.
it was like the largest sums I had on that wallet is how that happened. And so, fortunately I stopped. I didn't keep going because I would have just kept draining it more. So it wasn't fully drained, but all my biggest bags,
Yeah.
I think in all I had my Ethereum, Bitcoin, Chainlink, Pulse Chain, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, I hit it that many times, huh? Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of different things. So, brutal there. And it's just like it can happen that quickly. Just that. And it was so dumb. And I even almost didn't do it because I felt weird. Remember, like before I approved it, even the first time, I came in and thought twice about it and kind of came into the tweet and double check. But for whatever reason, I didn't check this one. I just checked like the main tweet again. And I was going fast because I just wanted to crank it out real quick and be done with it because I'm hanging out with the kids. That's why it happened. And so,
yeah, I saw something just like 20 minutes ago that Zach XBT posted on X that some random account had like so many $1 million in a hot wallet and got drained just in the last hour for like $3.5 million. Like, who keeps multi-million dollars in a hot wallet? And then it was on Etherscan. He put the transactions up and everything. It's like over $3 million, man. I was like, oh my gosh, man, that is insane.
And it goes like this with anything. So if you're going to do something in crypto, you either all in or all out. Like, so if you're going to do DeFi, you got to do it right. So if you're going to if you want to mess with airdrops, the Brown Gent, I think it can be profitable. Christian Peter, they do videos on it and they tell you how to do it right. You got to have your shit together and you got to do it right. And I just didn't want to take the time to mess with it and do it all.
I mean, I consider myself super OCD organized individual. And even for me, I'm hesitant to mess with it. I haven't done any airdrops for that reason. It's just because I don't want to miss a step. I don't want to blow any money for no reason.
Yep.
I'm sure that it's worth it, but for me, it's not.
Yeah. And I've tried to do this. I'm not exaggerating, at least 300 or 400 times. Tried to participate in this airdrop stuff throughout the years. And I've never come out and gotten the good ones. I've done a zillion gazillion steps to do all this and that, and I never get them.
I'm interested to see the follow-up videos that KP and BG are doing that actually show what they're getting, because I know they've been cranking out how to qualify for them, but I want to see the other side.
KP is like a wizard. He crushed it on some of these. On the Arbitrum one, I'm guessing on the Optimism one. I know those two he hit like big.
That's awesome.
And I think there's supposed to be a Synapse one. Guess what? I probably won't get it, even though I used to do stuff that would give me potential airdrops. It's like, if I don't get one from Synapse, well, then F you guys. It's like, because I've used that so many different times for so many different things. I've even in the past had liquidity in there. I've taken it out now, but it's like, geez. So, okay. So if you're going to do it, follow the Brown Gent and his step-by-step guides, not Crypto Grady, and continuing to be crypto's #1 shit show here. On what
Doug Hype in the house. What's up, brother?
Baby Doug Hype. I freaking love you. Crypto Baby H. Love you. Kupo. Man, thank you guys. Okay. So then next, A bright part of the week was CULO.
I love the picture. It's such
So
a
freaking hilarious. And so I was like so down and out on this when this first came out, but Moon Daddy is just such a good dude and loving towards me. He like forced me to get into it here. And so I did. And then when I saw George was so into it, I was like, holy smokes. Then I bought even more, and that has really taken off. Okay.
that's awesome.
And man, that was like a low hanging fruit alpha that I was trying to drop. If you followed me, there's sometimes where it's like, guys, I got the alpha. Here it is, because I know it's coming. Everybody was
Yeah,
talking
but you
about
gotta
it.
be all over it. I mean, you don't know it too early. You gotta when you got it, you gotta jump.
I know it's like sometimes with this is like, okay, guys, George is about to talk about this. I know what's going to happen. And I aped in to the CULO. I got me some CULO, baby. And it's just a hilarious meme, but they've got big vision for it. There's a lot more to come. It's
Yeah, and isn't
probably
Moon Daddy's a part of that, correct?
right. Moon Daddy and Warren Sapp. I was on Spaces this week with Warren Sapp,
Nice.
cracking jokes, making them laugh about CULO. That was wild. Just came out of nowhere. I'm in there. Moon Daddy like drags me in. He's like all over me, messaging me to get in. And then I get in and I'm talking. We're talking about all these different things. And then next thing I know, there's Warren freaking Sapp. And then during the stream, that I just helped prep for George. Next thing I know, George not only is talking about it, okay, and it kind of even surprised me that he even did, but he even put the logo in the thumbnail.
Oh,
I
of his
immediately,
stream.
like ponied up and bought a bunch more while I'm live on the Spaces with Warren Sapp, like doing all this. Anyways, hilarious there. Okay. But that was hard. Like it was hard to even want to mess with it because I just didn't want to do anything in crypto. But then they had this meme contest this weekend. It was absolutely hilarious. Okay. So, all right. Next up, and that's probably a long-term winner.
Yeah, I mean, just a fun meme. I've never seen them hold up so well like they are at the beginning of this cycle with the memes, man. It's like, I would have
Yeah,
thought it would have faded a little bit by now, but man, they are just rolling on.
I know it. So it has come back down and retraced. It's still just a $3.3 million market cap. It's been up over $5 million market cap. So,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
we
it's
even
still a
haven't really even
tiny,
had a big pump or any kind of good sentiment since it came out, I don't think. It's
yeah,
kind of all been, for the most part, the majority of the market's been down since it launched. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what it does when we get some good news going on.
right. There's not a ton of liquidity. It could go to zero. So it's a meme coin. They are trying
Yep.
to bring utility. They're trying to get it on major exchanges. They're trying to get it first on CoinMarketCap and stuff. They're working on all of it, but George is into it. You got Rodney, you got Patty Stash, you got ChainID, you got all that kind of crew talking about it in the IFC fighters, which we're going to hit on Karate Combat, baby. We're going to hit
Oh
on
yeah.
DeFi Kingdoms too, baby, and drop some
Yes.
alpha. All right. So, you got a lot of big players into this thing, and it's hilarious. It's one of those memes that I don't think will ever be like listed on CoinMarketCap. It won't
Sure.
be anything. It won't be $1 billion market cap, I don't think, but it could be 100 million. It could be like a cock in you. Okay. And what did that hit? $250 million market cap,
Wow.
listed on 0 exchanges. So I think this has just as much upside.
Yeah, I mean, when you got people talking about it, streamers that, people that got a large following, I mean, it's just a matter of time, in my opinion, on stuff like that. So.
Right. So I'm actually kind of surprised it didn't. I thought it would probably get up to 10 million. I immediately started real slowly cycling out profits to double the amount that I initially put in. So I've doubled the amount I've initially put in. And every time it hits its all-time high again, I'll take out 100 Matic worth. And then I'll check it. If it's at an all-time high again, I take out 100 Matic worth. Okay. And which is like $75 worth. It's like little stages at this point. So I'm not buying in anymore. I'm not cashing out a whole bunch. I've got like a $5,000 bag of it though now.
Nice.
Which is crazy. Or maybe it's even $6,000 bag, somewhere in there. And so, okay.
Yeah, in my experience with the memes, it's like, once you can recoup some of that initial, go ahead and take that. And then once you're whole again, it's all on the house. And whatever happens from there, it's whatever.
That's where I'm at. So that was like a bright spot of the week. Okay.
Nice.
Next, let's hit on karate. Then we'll end on DeFi Kingdoms. Okay. So karate, been training. You guys know that before I went to Vegas, in between Miami, I went to Miami to Art Basel, and spent the whole entire time with George, and we did some karate combat footage and training. I think you guys know that. Then I came back for 2 days, partly for training, partly for other things, and then went to Vegas. Well, in there, I came back, did a heavy training day, and was practicing kicks that I won't do anyways, and straight up pulled my hamstring. Okay. So that's been over a month ago now. So we're over a month past that. And it was like pretty rough pull. It wasn't a tear. Like I think what Crypto Lifer, Sammy pulled his hammy. Crypto Lifer, man, like tore his hamstring. And he's like, can't walk. So it wasn't that. But it was a good solid pull. And those can be a monster. Right? Because what happens is right after that, then I had to go to Vegas and I had to walk with a limp. And I would sense like I'm slightly retweaking it. So like I'm hurting the healing process there. So it's like my big focus has been not to further injure it and let it heal, but still at the same time, try and keep up my cardio some. And so I took it easy for a couple weeks, still eating healthy, doing some push-ups and sit-ups, planks, basic stuff, kind of maintained, and was still losing weight. Actually lost, I'm down below 220 now. I've gone from 254 to 219, baby.
Nice.
Not that I care that much about my weight, but that's kind of where
I could tell when you were on that bag the other day that you have tightened up around the gut. That gut you had in Colorado didn't seem to be there no more, baby.
It's even tighter right now as we speak. I'll tell you. So, and I'll tell you, yeah, baby.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's go.
That's
that bag, I don't know what it weighs, but the video didn't quite do it justice. That bag weighs like at least, I think, 300 pounds. Maybe.
I know, because you would think, you see guys that move those bags, but that's a different bag you had right there, man. That's one of them big boy bags.
Yeah. And it's like being hung on big ass chains or holding it, and it's like on the ground. And so when you punch it, it's like punching a brick wall. And I was like, dang it, didn't come out quite good on the video. And then also when you punch it, you have to punch it directly. So you can't like graze it.
Right.
Otherwise, ouch, it just rips your skin off. So
yeah,
I was like, didn't do it justice. Didn't quite do that video justice. But like when I put my face against it, like I almost got my face bloodied up.
You almost busted your nose.
For a video coming up, just to help kind of show that bag and that context there. Okay. Anyways, so the training's gone really well, except my cardio. It's so insane. So I got to where I took a couple weeks off, except doing like a few weeks off, even super careful, doing lots of push-ups, sit-ups, planks until I'm sweaty. And then I started going back to CrossFit and just rowing and biking and pull-ups and basic stuff that I can do, and got to where, I could row hard for like 30 minutes straight, and like intervals too. I'd go real hard, like sprint, and then keep going at a good pace, right? And then sprint again until I like am about to die. And like my pay, and then get on the bike. And I thought my cardio, was at least maintained from when before I pulled the hamstring. Well, then I go start sparring, still with the bad hamstring, still super careful, no kicks, not even lifting up my legs, not doing quick movements even with my legs, but just sparring. And by then I kind of realized, like, dang it, my coach, I think, had given up on me. I think my coach was like, I realized our communication was zero. And now he's no longer interested in coming. He was excited before about coming, and he's just kind of like, eh. And I, so I was like bummed. And then I would spar, and it was like, it literally zaps I can go row for 30, 45 minutes straight, but I can't spar for 2 minutes without like about to pass out.
Dude, that's what's amazing to me about fighting, man. And of course, I'm never had that opportunity, but that's what I would think would wear me out the quickest, man. I probably wouldn't last 30 seconds in there, because when you're in the moment and you're right there in it, I mean, I'm sure it's just a whole different animal as far as endurance goes.
That's right. Yeah. So it's insane. It literally like zaps the energy out of you, baby. And yes, I'm gonna beat Eric with my face. I got a plan, boys and girls. I got a plan for this fight. And my plan is to get punched in the mouth. Let's go, baby. Okay.
I know he saw that post, because he said GL. So he's watching, baby. I'm so pumped for this, man. It's gonna be so fun.
So, and I did that, by the way, that video after the workout. So I'll go work out, sparring, punching combinations, and it's like I start seeing stars. If I stop for a second to take a breather, it kicks in after like 3 or 4 seconds. And
I think that's everybody, though,
I'm about to pass out. Like, I'll be where I'm about to pass out. It just zaps you of your energy. It's wild. And so I'm like, D-Ray, what the heck? My freaking cardio. I can't freaking spar. But here's where I got encouraged. I started sparring some of the best guys in that gym, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby. And by the way, one of them is like, there's a couple like main event champion guys, apparently.
Yeah, like there's a couple of these guys were in their prime, right? Like they were no pushover guys.
No, 0% body fat, super jacked, regular fighters, studs. Like even more than I realized. I didn't even realize this. Like some of these guys I've sparred, like this guy's a belt holder, and like, what did he say? Like an 8-state area. He like holds a belt. He's dominated everybody he's fought. He is so fast and powerful and awesome. Well, I get in, my fat old ass gets in there and spars them and just kicks their ass. They didn't even know how to handle it. They're like bright eyes, like, oh my, what? And every time they try to do something, it's just pop, the quick jab.
Man, I wish we had video of that, man.
I'm standing southpaw, pop. And I'm like dying, but they can't do anything. And I just owned like everybody I was sparring. And so, and it's hilarious because I'm like, come on, I want my blood on the mat. Is there not somebody here that can get my blood on the mat? Let's go. And everybody's laughing. And so then finally I fight the stud guy again. And he's like, all right, takes it more serious. And he's like sizing me up. And I'm pounding him. And this was like a different day too. But then he just like straight clocks the crap out of me. And I'm like, yes, finally, somebody. He like freaking rearranged my jaw literally to where I couldn't like chew my gum right. But he walked away with a bloody nose and a bloody lower lip, baby, just from those jabs he took. Okay. So my confidence is higher than ever, except, and I'm like ready to freaking go fight Tyson Fury. Type
Let's go.
Confidence, right? And then, but then it's like my cardio. So I watch all these fights all the time. These guys go 12 rounds, 3 minutes each round. Like, and in the old days, 15 rounds, I'm watching all of these fights. I'm just like, good God, I can't go 2 minutes, guys.
It's like the battery never goes down with those guys. It's crazy.
Insane. And so it's so easy to sit there and watch. And I've been training hard and I can't freaking spar for 2 minutes. And the guys on sparring, they're like just getting going. But after I do it once or twice, I can't lift my arms. I need like a 5-minute break. And then after a 5-minute break, I can come back and spar for like 45 seconds to a minute. And then I'm just like, oxygen, can't breathe. I'm like about to pass out, not from getting hit, but from just my cardio. So the more I spar, though, the more I do this. Like the bag training this week was such a focus, and those hooks, those kidney and liver shots are the ones that kill my freaking lower knuckles. Anyways, okay.
Yeah, but you still got a whole month on the cardio, big dog.
That's
so
right.
I think you're in a good place. You're in a good place.
Yeah. So we got enough time to where after Saturday, that was after the training, by the way, after the session is when I did that video. And you know what? After that, my confidence, I guess that was just yesterday. So weird. Is my cardio. I even feel like, okay, maybe I can get to a point where I actually could, if I needed to, go 3 2-minute rounds. All right. All right, baby. So I'm pumped for that. I need to get my coach back in. I'm starting to get him like reeled back in a little bit. So, but I was wanting to I had a game plan to get some awesome sparring content this week with the guys, but I'm just more and more getting to know the guys, getting to know the coach. And so everyone kind of knows what's going on.
Yeah, building that rapport with everybody so they're,
it's to where it's
so
like,
they
all right,
understand what's happening.
Yeah, that's right. And on Saturday, I just level with D-Ray, like, hey, man, we need to get some good sparring videos. I want to get knocked out. Come on. Let's see. Like, we'll get good content either way. Either way, whether or not I get my ass beat or I beat their ass, it'll be good content. So,
dude, I wish I lived up there, man. I would be just on getting footage the whole time. That's all I'd be doing.
Man, that would be so fun. We could,
but that's good, man. I think you're making good progress. I mean, just look at how far you've come in just the last month in that regard, non-cardio related.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to train, so I should be encouraged. But a couple times along the way too, I tweaked my other hamstring. So last week, so it's about 2 weeks ago, I tweaked my left hamstring. My right hamstring is the one I pulled. My left hamstring, I tweaked it a couple times just doing basic punching combinations. And so it was like so discouraging. It's like staying healthy is a monster in this. So, okay. But we're going to do it. I wish I could just rewind like 3 or 4 years and get my GQ body back and be back in tip-top shape. Okay. All right. But it'll come. It'll come, baby.
That's right.
All right. Then lastly, DeFi Kingdoms. There's a whole lot of things with DeFi Kingdoms. And there's a whole lot of other alpha. Yeah. Whole lot of other alpha we could talk about. Okay.
This is the warm-up show to the alpha.
And just even outside of DeFi Kingdoms, what's going on everywhere. George, so much happening all over the freaking place. Okay. So it was like 2 weeks ago, around this time, right now, 2 weeks ago, I thought to myself, and these items just got so beat down. They're like worthless. So I finally was like, you know what? It's like there's no point in selling items. Except maybe tears and Mashka runes. That's about it.
Yep.
It's not even, and maybe green eggs.
Okay. Green eggs have held up well, I'll say. I mean, I usually sell all my eggs as I get them because I have everything I need, which I think is the case with most people. But green eggs compared to the other ones have really done well.
And I'm trying to understand why. The only conclusion I could come up with was it must be because there's still people trying to hatch those awesome gardening pets for the additional gardening rewards.
Yeah, because I think at some point that's going to come back around, and those are going to be probably one of the most valuable pets.
Right, and they are. The game. I think they are as is like the most valuable pets, and it's the 2 pets gardening. One is the pet that boosts your gardening stat X number. Okay, so even those common ones have to be good, have to be valuable. The common gardening pets. Okay. That.
Oh yeah, Crypto Baby H talk about power surge. That's true. And man, I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, so my highest level heroes are gardeners, man. I got two about to turn level 18, and they get XP like a mofo, man. I mean, it's crazy the amount of XP they get.
Yeah. So there's power surge, and then there's the one that gives
Skilled gardener,
additional skills apply. Is it this one?
skilled gardener, Kupo says.
Skilled greenskeeper. Okay. Well, yeah, this like increases effective gardening skill by 11. Okay. So like just 38 crystal. Really? So like these are a significant. I remember KP Christian Peter said that these are actually better even than the power surge, but I'm guessing those two are the best ones. The ones skilled greenskeeper and power surge. That's why people maybe are still trying to hatch those eggs, those green eggs. So those have held up well. But I thought to myself, you know what? Right now we're at a place. I thought this 2 weeks ago. Like we're at a place where these items are like worthless. It's not even worth selling the eggs. Like, good Lord. And so why not just create liquidity? Because I realize the liquidity is down.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going to
Overall,
come? What do we have coming, baby? I knew this was going to come eventually, where with the boar hunts and stuff, with these hunts, we're going to need potions. Instead of them just giving us the potions like they do now, right? They just give us the potions for the boar hunts.
oh yeah,
Right.
you get 3 every hunt, no matter what. And man, talk about a game changer coming soon.
So when the utility comes for items again, okay, like we used to have with the stones, like when the stone rave went on, it just created so much arbitrage opportunities, trading opportunities. And I look at the freaking decks, and there's so low liquidity for all items, really. For most all the items, except like tiers, there's plenty of liquidity for the most part, but there could still be more for sure. And for like, even gold, not, I mean, a decent amount of liquidity. Gold's been pumping. I'm just thinking, when there's demand for these items, talk about potential 50, like 30, 20, 30, 40, 50, even 100x potential for
Some of
these,
these items, man, I think for sure.
right? And so I'm like, for like 10, 15, 20 bucks, I went in and just created all this liquidity for all these items all over the place.
That's what you used to do back in the day, man, is throw all that liquidity in there for the project and for the fam.
I know. And I just kept thinking about it. Then the very next AMA, they drop it to where they're actually going to do that, where we have to have the potions. We actually have to have the potions for these new hunts coming.
It's going to
Right?
be such a game changer, man. That
What a
people are
game
so
changer.
reliant on these potions now.
So we literally go from no utility, hardly, for items to tons of utility for items like that. Talk about an easy play in my book for potential monster gains, right? And so I put all my liquidity in with Jewel, even though ideally I think it would be better with gold. And so then I thought to myself, man, there's no liquidity for the stones. And the stone carver comes out, and I'm like, screw it. And I just like craft a mother load shit ton of stones
Nice.
and decide to create liquidity for all of it on both Serendale and Crystal Vale. On Serendale, my plan was to only do liquidity for the chaos crystal or chaos stone, which I'm like 99.9% of that liquidity. And but it's enough liquidity to where it's like 70 or 80, I think, stones put up for liquidity, along with like 90 jewel or something was all that cost. So it's still a decent amount, but it's like I realize, okay, I don't want to do this with all the stones. It's going to cost too much. Brother's broke. And so, but then I realized, okay, there is a little liquidity for wit stones, for the vitality stones, and the strength.
Wit and vit stones and strength, huh?
Strength stones. There already was established liquidity there. So, like for the chaos stones, you got to be careful. I had to buy a stone first because at first it wanted me to put in like 70 stones for like the price, like paired with one jewel. One jewel.
Ah.
You don't want to, that's how you get
So you
wrecked.
had to put one stone first.
Right. So I went and bought a stone and drove the price up. Okay. And so in doing that, I then put the liquidity in for one stone. Or maybe I did like 2 or 3 stones and then went and bought one stone again and did it to where the price was accurate. Okay. Where it was supposed to be. And I would just do that in stages to where then I eventually put in like 70 or 80, I think like 70 some stones. Chaos.
Oh, because you got to get it built up first a little bit.
Right. And that took so much time. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this for all the stones, but the stones that already had established liquidity, I did. So the wit stone, so intelligence, vitality, and strength, I think
which are
are the
3 of
other
the hottest
3
stones.
on Serendale. Then on Crystal Vale, we got them all, baby.
Oh, yeah. Dang.
I mean,
That's
some
awesome,
have
man.
better liquidity than others. Okay. And then I even did it. So, like, and I can just kind of tell, and you can tell, just like when you go make a trade, if the price impact isn't like more than 5%, you're probably all right to buy that stone. If it's gets to be where it's more than 5%, even 5% is pushing it, but less than 5%, you're good for at least buying the one stone.
Right.
And that's how you can think of it. And so for all the stones, there's enough liquidity to at least buy a stone if you need
That's
it.
so awesome, man. That's huge for everybody to not have to just, think about the bazaar.
Right. So like it's there, it creates ARB opportunities, it opens up the door. And because I'm just thinking, like with these potions, look at this, like with the what is this, a swiftness
Yeah, you got
potion?
54 swiftness potions in there. Those are like the max potion.
Yeah, right. And so it's like that's 83% of that pool.
Wow.
And so
So
like
we really need everybody to kind of, in a perfect world, everybody to kind of do this to build up that liquidity so we can, especially when we get some more new people coming in, man, they need to have those options.
It opens up the door to so much. And so part of the sentiment, when we talk about how to build sentiment, so my next video that I do, I'm planning on, I don't know if I want to go here or not, because it's going to be a long brain dump of a video on DeFi Kingdoms.
Dedicated 1 to 2 hour video.
Right. It'll be like a 2 or 3 hour long.
Oh man, just like the old days.
Yeah, man. Just like the old days. I did it on Kong. I did a big brain dump on Kong today.
It was good. It was real good.
Yeah, we were just catching up about stuff. And so it's so important though. Like even some of these crystals. So what I've been doing is sometimes I will sell some of these items now still, but it's like it feels so worthless.
I tell you, those sailfish probably don't want to sell those.
Yeah,
or swift thistle.
Yeah, swift thistle, sailfish. I think the sailfish are going to be a huge commodity, man, because
I think this stuff is going to happen so quick, bro. I think it's going to be like the switch flips.
Yeah.
And I could tell just by listening to Hubert in the last AMA and a couple of the guys on the team that they're excited about this economy getting ready to finally be fired up after it's been so long, man. We've been waiting on this.
Right. And so from a marketing perspective, this is one thing, like part of my next video, I want to have it be like a message to the team. Like when we're talking marketing, okay, which I, again, translate, AKA messaging, communication, building sentiment, building hype into the ecosystem. A big part of it is the DEX and the trading, the arbitrage opportunities, ROI that our heroes get from questing. Okay, so initially, how did the game blow up so much? Well, a lot of people would say it was the APRs, the big APRs. And that's true for most of us. For many of us, the draw into the game was the APRs in the pools, right? And then there is this big subset of people that started getting into the game itself from that. That's how I got in. I first started in the pools for a couple months before I ever even thought about buying a hero, right?
Yep.
So many people were like that. Then as we get sucked into the game and we realize the depths of the ecosystem and the big brains and all the stuff going on and the heroes and the questing. And then as I'm sitting there watching Christian Peters videos and everybody out there doing DeFi Kingdoms videos about his ROI on his heroes and questing, he's making $600 a day and all the hype going on. Then it's like, well, damn, I want to get some heroes. And then you start looking at the heroes. You start learning about the heroes. You start learning about the stats. You start learning about the genes. You start learning about summoning and all this stuff. And you just get mind blown. The most complex NFTs in all of crypto, the vastness of this ecosystem. And it's like, holy smokes. And then more people start doing videos on DeFi Kingdoms. A big part of it is having an awesome, big brains, healthy in-game economy, which is something I've been preaching here, for a while.
That's the hook, man. I remember when I first started, dude, I could just sit and just fuck around in the economy and arbitrage and stuff for hours on end. We're not even doing anything with my heroes. And we're going to get back to that. It's just, it's a few things that got to happen before.
Yeah, man. Well, no, I'm not getting zero APR. Love you, Crypto Baby H. Yeah, yellow eggs are coming. But no, man, I'm doing liquidity in the pools too. And I know it says here when you click on this guy, pending rewards is 0, pending lock rewards 0. There's no APR, when you look in the seed box, but that's not true. I'm getting APR. For one, I'm getting APR. So look, I've claimed this twice today already. It's not like a ton of APR, but I'm also getting APR from my gardeners gardening.
Yeah, right? I like the new mechanic, man, and how it pays out. I think it's cool. It's similar to the jeweler and staking, except it's not locked up.
Right. And now I would say I would have recommended to the team to up the percentage of coins that go to this harvest. Instead of, I think, is it 10 or 15%? I think it's 10% maybe, or maybe it's 15.
It's 10.
Okay. Of every time we summon, all the stuff that goes on, 10% of that goes to this, to pay interest on this. And it's divvied out based off the pool reward allocation. Right. So I would have upped that probably to further incentivize this, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. I think it's still good. You get the trading fees, you get the APRs, you get the gardeners gardening. Okay. And as those gardeners keep getting higher leveled, I think that also helps, right? So,
yeah.
Okay. So Crystal also is the earning token. Guys, Crystal is fully emitted.
Bullish.
Okay. Fully emitted. Not only is it deflationary, they lowered the burn rate, from 25% to 15%. But hang on, did you hear in the last AMA? So first of all, for Crystal also, in the last AMA, they talked about boar hunts and how much Crystal was burned just from the boar hunts. But also in this meditation circle, you still have the token offerings, right? And all that Crystal's burned in these token offerings, right? Or is it 75% or 80%? Or most of that Crystal's burned, I think. I don't think, I know. It's at least 75 or 80% of that Crystal's burned. And maybe it's even 100%. Plus, it's either 70 or 80% of the Crystals burned in the duels. Plus in the boar hunts, guys.
So many different angles, man. That's what I'm saying. That's going to start stacking up.
You guys, 3 already just from the boar hunts alone, 340,000 Crystal is burned.
Man, that is not to be understated, man. That's a large number in a short amount of time, bro.
In a very short amount of time. So 15% of all the crystal used on the DEX fees, on the summoning. Okay, it was 25%. Now it's 15%. So, okay. So, all right. Now let's look at this barkeep. Okay, we got about 40 million Joule deposited. Okay, over 3.1 Joule burned. We're million Joule. 8.3 million crystal is already burned. It's
8
fully
million.
circulating, guys.
Bullish on
Like
crystal, man. I need to pair some up.
all the boar hunts going on, and then all these new hunts coming. Okay, so we got new hunts coming that will actually require us to craft potions. How many boar hunts have already been done in total?
I'd say probably 115,000.
I think it was more than that. Like a couple months ago, didn't KP say we surpassed 100,000 boar hunts? And it's 10 Joule.
If you try to do one, it'll show you what number you're on. But yeah.
Really? Okay, let's look. So, all right. So think about this. Oh, where are the void hunts? Okay. Where does it say? Okay, so,
I think you got to maybe once you get ready to start one, it'll tell you what number is about to kick off or something.
okay.
But I think you'd have to
So like
prep your
start
team and stuff. Yeah.
or
I don't know. There's probably an easier way, but I'm pretty sure it's in like under 150,000 and over 100.
okay. All right. Well, anyways, and that's only going to ramp up, right?
Yeah, from what I've heard is that hunt that you just saw, what I'm thinking is going to happen is they're just going to add another hunt underneath the boar hunt. And then you're going to be able to choose if you want to do a level 10 plus hunt, which would be the boars, or if you want to up it up to the level 12 plus hunt, which is coming next. So they'll probably, I think what they said is they're going to always have multiple hunts ongoing.
Yeah. And then we got expeditions coming. There's more stuff coming. Now, this stuff always does take time, but my understanding is the new hunts are like right around the corner, right? We're talking a week or two.
I would think there is a sheet that
Okay.
they're supposedly updating it a lot better than the last sheet when they did
Okay.
this, and it looks close, man. Like I would think probably not next week, but maybe the week after or the week after that for sure. I would think that's just me speculating, but
yeah, so we're talking weeks, not months.
I would definitely say not months.
Yeah, weeks. And my impression was like right around the corner, like next week or something. Okay. Where
Yeah, I know it's in testing now, so
okay. So it's in testing already. It's like right around the corner. We're talking like a week or two, but to be generous, or 3. But right
people are
around the corner.
so, people are clamoring for them too, man. Like I've been kind of keeping a close eye, and it's these hunts are fun, man. This is a big deal getting these opened up and getting the real hardcore gamers,
Right.
involved again. And these guys are engaged. Like the Bogside Chats guys, I
Yeah.
knew when they came back and were showing the excitement that they're showing that we got something good on our hands here.
Mm-hmm. So it's not like I'm breaking the bank here. I actually didn't break the bank, but I've been like slowly accumulating all these items, putting them in liquidity. Okay. Because here's one thing I noticed. So, for one, let me finish that. Once the new hunts come out, we'll have both boar hunts and some other hunt. The other hunt, we actually have to craft the potions.
Mana potions and HP.
All of it, right?
All of that's right. They're all going to be available.
Specifically said even the bigger potions, like specifically said that. And I was like, oh, damn. All right. So
which means all the items pretty much just make all the items are about to have value.
Like, holy smokes, like overnight mega utility, all the items overnight. And so, like,
and everybody that's been stacking them this whole time, like me, and has gotten a few hundred, I got a feeling We're gonna burn through whatever our surplus is pretty freaking fast,
Like,
and then stuff's really gonna take off.
like it doesn't take much. Like, okay, I got 17 Joule on here. Okay, how much is that? Let's come to the marketplace. Just look at how low the liquidity is. Okay, if I want to buy, okay, let's say I want to buy some whatever iron scale. Okay, and all right, to put in 16 Joule. See, what is 16 Joule worth? That's like $4.
Yeah,
$4 worth of Joule. That does a
5.5% price impact.
Okay, and that's with me. I'm like, just from what I've done over this last couple weeks, I'm like now like 8% of that liquidity pool. And it still hits $4, has that much of a price impact. It gets you 47,000 iron scale. That's
That is crazy, man.
These items.
And that, I'll tell you, that's going to be a hot item too, man. That iron scale. I remember back in the day it was hot, and it's going to be hot this time too.
Right. And so, and here's why, because you got to use it in all these damn potions and stuff. Okay. And so I'm like, you know, because I'd gotten out of some of the pools and stuff on Klaytn, I had some like Joule laying around. I'm like, and so I was like using the Joule. I would just come in and buy some of this up without doing a big, heavy price impact. I wasn't trying to drive the price up, but I was just buying a little bit up and just kind of steadily creating liquidity and doing all the stones and all this and that. And it's like, it's still $4 worth of Joule, a 5.52% price impact. So just that's one person. So when I went to craft all the stones and potions that I did by myself, I would pump the liquidity by 10%. Like I was pumping the prices of all the items. I'm one guy pumping the prices 10%, just me trying to still do an insufficient amount of liquidity. So just imagine when everybody needs it. So when you think of risk versus reward, what's the reward to sell this stuff? Okay, I get 5 cents here, 10 cents here, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, it's that.
Versus like, okay, or when you think of like, I've been gem hunting, buying up some projects that I want to talk more about on the channel. Buying up some projects, and we all know I'm crypto's #1 shit show, so I haven't been doing videos here much lately, but I want to start doing them more, dropping alpha on potential projects that could moon. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, talk about stuff that you can just literally put in like 50 cents worth, 20 cents worth into all these little tokens without pumping the price too much, create liquidity and just sit on it, be earning the fees of all the trading. And then when it does pump, you're losing the items, but it's pumping right into Joule. So your Joule bag's growing as it's pumping. And as the items pump, you talk about upside here is insane. Here's another thing I noticed was when I was crafting all the stones and potions, I felt like I was running out of gold faster than I was tears.
Wow. So that right there is something to think about, man.
Good Lord. I burned through so much gold. And then I hear from Bolon, baby, in the AMA that not only was 334,000 crystal burned from the boar hunts, he said like, or 340 or whatever the number was of crystal burned, 1.1 or 1.4 billion gold.
Whoa.
Billion with a B. Gold burned from the boar hunts.
I didn't hear that. That's insane.
Okay. Which, if we look at the total supply of gold, who knows how many? It's probably up to 1 trillion now. Who knows? But so much of that being burned.
It's those potions, man. I'll buy 1 million gold, bro, and craft for like 10 minutes, and all the gold's gone.
It's gone. Same. That's
like
exactly what happened. So I realized gold, look out. Like, and it's been pumping. So like
And
when
shout
we
out
look
to
at
Trade Room, because Trade Room's been
I
bullish on
love
gold for months now.
I know he has. I love him. Look at how gold has been pumping too. Okay, I guess this might have been me. um when I was doing all that. All right. So
KP
1
says 440 million.
140 million gold. Okay, not I thought he said 1.4 billion or 1.1 billion. KP baby in the house.
On the team.
Crypto baby H Skiller. KP is like the most perfect fit for the DeFi Kingdoms team. I'll tell you what, man.
Those two acquisitions from him and Workhorse, man. Like I don't think we could have drawn that up. And you say pick two people you want to add to the team.
I
Those are
love
the
it.
two guys you pick.
It's so freaking awesome. Dreamer's back in the saddle. He came back alive again. Been chatting with him a little bit this week. I was in a funk. He was
He looked
coming
like he
out
had
of
been
a
under the
funk.
weather too. I guess I saw he went on maybe Mythic Schwa's
Yeah. He got
show,
COVID,
and
right? Didn't he get
oh,
COVID?
that's right. Yeah, so that's why we hadn't been seeing him lately.
Yeah. I didn't even know that. And so he hits me up and I'm like in this huge funk because I just got scammed. Anyways, okay. If you're just coming in, KP, we covered the scam at the beginning and we shilled yours and Brown Gent's channel. If anybody
That's
wants to do
right.
airdrops. Anyways, okay. All right. So 1 million gold, that has come up, it seems like. But yeah, I mean, I burned through 1 million gold like nothing. When crafting all the potions, like crafting all the stones, but then the potions to craft the stones, you gotta have all the potions.
Those full potions, the big jars, bro, those take a lot of mats.
Yeah. Versus like how much is like 10,000 tiers or something? Or
I don't think it's outrageous right now. I think it's a good time to be picking up tiers, but I don't
yeah,
know. They're
all of
always
it.
being emitted, but
I'm like even more bullish on gold in the short.
it just feels like things have bottomed out, as far as the items go.
Okay. So 10,000
For the most part.
I forget, like dollar for dollar, tiers might still be more valuable than gold, but I just felt like I was burning through the gold so much faster than even the tiers when I was crafting all that. And so I was just like, damn, the gold. So
yeah, I think the ratio may be heavier to gold when the crafting stuff, because you're right. You burn through it.
there's just going to be so much burning happening when we have to use these items in the potions.
And Skiller was asking if he thinks it's gonna hurt the hunt numbers when Bring Your Own Potions comes out. I don't think so, man. I think the people that want to do the hunts want to do them regardless, and you know won't even care about the cost because it's all about winning and being on that leaderboard. And shout out to DFK Quester for that leaderboard he's got, man. I don't know if you've been on there in a while, but you can filter so many cool ways on that
Really?
Quester leaderboard. And I know that's something you used to be so big on, was the
Yeah.
leaderboard, but now you got third parties like Quester. I mean, you can do it by how fast somebody beat the boars and see like the quickest boar hunt, like a minute, all kinds of different ways. So shout out
Wow.
to Quester.
I love that. Okay. And then also, like, as far as to answer that question from Skiller, well, if people are already into the game at that level, doing all the boar hunts, wanting to compete, why wouldn't they, as long as it's worthwhile to do the hunts, it has to be worthwhile to do the hunts. Why wouldn't you craft the potions to do it? Why?
Yeah,
Why
because
wouldn't?
everybody's been looking for something to do for so long, and
Yeah.
I think it'll be that much more mania every time a new hunt comes out. And what they're saying, these are supposed to be geared towards like boss battles. So eventually we'll have easier stuff for other players, new players that are coming in that don't want to spend the kind of money to get high level heroes.
Yeah. Look at Crypto Baby H, man. She's all back in. Crypto
She
Baby
is.
H, we miss you. Been wondering how you're doing.
She's getting ready to revamp her whole legion, man. I was talking to her on Discord a little while ago, and she's
Really?
getting ready to rebuild a lot more heroes.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is an interesting question. So more alpha. So I know that it's on the table. There's a lot of blockchains being talked to. And so behind the scenes, okay, Dreamer is doing so much out there.
Yes.
I know it's a goal. There's a lot of biggies out there that they're trying to get another realm. You know, this Klaytn news also, by the way, the Klaytn news is huge. This could be a saver for Klaytn. Klaytn's been looking rough. But
what's the alpha on that? I don't know if I've even heard that.
Okay, so if you heard in the last AMA, they talked about Klaytn's partnership with, and we covered it on George's channel, and George ran with it, and I was like surprised.
Wow.
So I like set up that stream for him, and he covered it, man, hard. So Klaytn is partnering with essentially like the WhatsApp of Asia. So so Klaytn is already a massive company. The company that built Klaytn is massive.
Right. Yeah, the parent company, right?
Right.
Yeah, like they have basically their hands in everything in that whole
they've got like social
there.
media, they've got a phone company, they do like cars, they do all this stuff out there in like South Korea and stuff. Well, there's a monster company even bigger in Japan that has a token and a blockchain that I had never heard of, and they're partnering to be like cross-chain EVM compatible with Cosmos and like, so they're on a Cosmos IBC chain. Klaytn is EVM chain. They're going to combine and like make a chain that can bridge all the chains somehow, and like merge their tokens together. So I think my understanding is the KLAY token will be collected 1-to-1 with their new replaced token. With this huge company and this huge vision, it's like a massive, huge merger. So there's been a chance that like if Klaytn really is a problem, I know that they said all options are on the table as far as possibly moving Serendale again, which would be a pain to a new
that would
chain.
suck.
Versus, but see, they've been in conversations with so many different blockchains out there. They're offering money. They want to work with DeFi Kingdoms. They want a realm. Okay. And I know one of them that our boy, Crypto Crow, has been working on. And I was on a Spaces, by the way, with Charles Hoskinson himself.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. For like 2 hours.
Dude, he's so cool, man. When we met him in Denver, man, the dude is just, you can talk to him like he's a normal guy, man. I got to say, he's cool as a fan.
Yeah. And, so like Crow has made it an ambition of his to get a DeFi Kingdoms realm on Cardano, essentially on an EVM compatible chain. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen because there's a lot of things that have to work out, with that partnership.
Sure. So many moving parts. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah. But just imagine how huge that would be. But it doesn't just have to be that. There's so many other blockchains that would be huge, that they're talking to just for exposure for the game, though. I'm just like, man, I'm hoping that one.
ADA would be awesome. And then like a Crow themed realm or like a dark realm. That would be so sick, man. And just think of the people, the community is so rabid over there, man.
Yeah. Solana, baby. Like Solana, that's a possibility now with all these like all these new chains popping up. A lot of it creates EVM compatibility from Solana, from Cosmos ecosystem. There's a lot of that popping up. It's in the works, and it opens the door for a DFKChain or DFK realm to be on those chains as long as it's EVM compatible. That's like the only deal breaker. But all these chains are now, even like Polkadot ecosystem is very EVM compatible with a lot of the different technology and projects that are coming up. A lot of stuff's going on. So there's a lot of conversations going on behind the scenes, I think, with all of these chains.
That is incredibly bullish, and that
All of
they're
it.
going to basically be able to take their pick on what the best fit is, and
Yep.
from a back end standpoint,
That's right.
I think things are going to go a lot smoother with this next one, whenever that is.
That's right. So you got the Vissies, okay, like this partnership with Karate Combat. We had Karate Combat tweeting out, about the partnership with DFK. They retweeted that tweet this week. Okay. And DFK did marketing on the last event we were just at. You watch it twice. You're watching the Karate Combat event that was watched by hundreds of thousands of people, by the way. Okay. They saw the DeFi Kingdoms ad pop up. We got George, was talking about it there. Like when the Mythic swap comes out, which I think is also somewhere right around the corner, somewhere in there. George will be hyping that up because George is he said it again last week, how excited he is for Myth. He made another mention of DeFi Kingdoms last week the day we talked about Klaytn, and he mentioned the Mythic swap, how excited he is for that. We got these Vissies. Imagine when there's an I am George freaking Vissy and a crow token Vissy in the freaking tavern. They're going to be hyping that up. It's just going to bring more people. That's like real world stuff that brings, like we get some of these big influencers out there, just like Crotty, talking about DeFi Kingdoms. Woo. Okay. So now I want to do a deeper brain dump on DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem here and really deep dive a thought process here along the lines of the in-game economy, how important it is, how that's part of the marketing.
Yes, that's something I think that maybe is left a little to be desired. Don't get me wrong, it's been a straight home run out of the park in regards to Dreamer and the X engagement and getting out there. But like you're about to say, we need to maybe try to focus on driving some awareness of the economy and the liquidity.
Yes. And so when the economy's pumping, the value of heroes are pumping. Like when the in-game items pump, it automatically raises the value of the heroes. Okay. And then it just creates and this is what we wait for in the bull run. It creates a euphoric sentiment where people all of a sudden come alive on DeFi Kingdoms. If you remember when Jewel was pumping up to 85 cents, we had so many people come out of the woodworks talking about DeFi Kingdoms. Well, that will happen when the ROI on hero questing also happens because the value of the items are pumping, which will in turn, it pumps the whole ecosystem. So that's where liquidity is such a base layer importance of that happening. So that's where I've just been pumping stuff into the liquidity on both realms. I especially target things on both realms like eggs on Serendale. Egg liquidity, there's still not much, but I've been putting little bits in there, not much, in liquidity because it's kind of like risk versus reward. I'm not getting any reward for selling my eggs right now, except maybe green eggs.
Might as well throw them in there.
Might as well throw them in liquidity, right? And do it where there's low liquidity. And so,
But what we could all do as a community, what you're saying is, instead of you trying to prop this up by yourself, if all of us throw a little bit into each one of the pools and try to help out and contribute, that'll build that supply up for the next 6 months to a year.
Right. So I do that in these wallets where I'm generating more revenue, like from hero sales. I'm still selling my Gen 1 10 out of 10s. And I use that revenue to like either supply liquidity. You can use it to cash out some. And then on the other wallets that I have, I use those wallets to just dump the items into Jewel for gas and whatever, just to build my Jewel bag, but mostly for gas at this point. But as these items pump, then the gas issue won't be near as much of an issue because
And Expeditions is going to do a number on gas
that'll
as
help.
well.
But if the value of the items are pumping, then the gas won't matter at that point, because the items will be so valuable, the gold will be so valuable, where your questing will be more than profitable. Then that just
You
revives
want
the
to
whole
think about the
ecosystem,
gas.
right?
Yeah.
It revives the third-party devs. It revives all these tools. We're going to be getting in here trying to figure out the best arbitrage opportunities. Like Crypto Baby H is talking about an AI summoning bot. Like, baby, yeah, let's talk about some karate too, for sure, Birdman. Karate token's been pumping, baby. So, okay.
And I was telling somebody the other day, Grady, it seems like to me on the lead up to these fights for karate combat is when you kind of see the token start going a little bit faster, because people are anticipating betting on these fights. And I think the next one, correct me if I'm wrong, is this week coming up.
Actually, Friday there is a little mini fight, and so we've seen the karate token pump, so people can bet on this. Well, who are these people? Is there new people betting? Well, yeah, there's new people betting, because all the Web3 people who before didn't know about karate combat, now they sure as hell know about it because of the IFC and all these influencers talking about it. But guess what? The IFC fights, the date still hasn't even been announced. We're waiting any literal minute. The date's going to be, and it's going to be finalized. The game plan, the hope, I think, for them is Mexico City, which is high elevation, which makes it even harder to cardio.
Mm-hmm. You're going to get gassed even that much faster.
Oh my gosh.
Month left to cardio.
Like higher up than even Denver is. It's more than a mile up.
Wow. I didn't know that.
It's like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. We're going to get like oxygen tanks or something. So, okay. Like, I was just like, when I thought about that, I was like, oh my dear Lord. So, but guess what? When that date gets announced, what do you think's going to happen? We're going to have BitBoy tweeting about it more, because he hardly tweeted about it. There's been some buzz around it. Everybody wants to bet against BitBoy. He's probably going to get his ass kicked, right?
People that don't even care about karate are going to buy the token just to bet against Ben.
Right. So, I mean, I sure as hell hope so, because he's getting paid the big bucks to do the fight. That's the whole point of bringing him in. Okay. Yep. And so he's fighting Patty Stash, plus all these other fights. There's going to be a lot of hype. Crypto Crow. Like, so all these new people are coming into karate. We're only 11,000 users on the karate app. And a lot of those are Web 2 people that don't know much about crypto. Okay, we got Joe Rogan has talked about it multiple other times. Jake Paul talking about it. I think they're trying to line him up for a fight. I think they're trying to line up the guy that beat Conor McGregor. Hello, what's his name? He was at the last fight and alluded to fighting.
Nate Diaz.
Yeah, Nate Diaz might be fighting.
Yeah, as soon as they get one of these guys, man, that thing is gonna straight up.
Can you imagine if Jake Paul fights,
oh my gosh,
karate combat? Can you imagine? He's going to be talking about it on his show. He's already talking about it on his show. We just had 11,000 users, people. This is Up Only Gaming. If we get Nate Diaz and Jake Paul on this ticket, I might be on the same freaking card as Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. They already got some big names in there.
Just the people that are talking about it at this level, with being unknown, to me is so incredibly bullish. When you're watching Joe Rogan's podcast and the main guy from Karate Combat, Bass, is across the table from him, and they're talking about the token, I don't know what could be more bullish than that.
Right. Like GF Burke, my man, my boy, right here in the house. Eric David Tippett's in the house, baby. Yeah, AVAX takes off again after Sol. Yeah, Cock is going to follow and get listed on Binance. Hey, that's possible. I've got a little cock, strap on and buy some cock in you. We all need some cock in you, right? All right. So, CULO, man, these freaking memes are hilarious. That's where cock is so funny and so catchy, and so is CULO. The way it's so clever. I don't know if CULO has as much upside as cock in you in that realm of things, but it's got plenty of upside. I would say 100 million is not too much to ask on CULO. So if you don't have to buy a whole bunch, like you can just buy $100 worth or whatever, you can just a little bit. You just put a little bit in, $50, $100, you know?
Yeah, the big thing with that is just something you don't care about that you like,
Yeah.
it might not be there when I wake up tomorrow, but chances are you put 50 bucks in there, it might turn into 500.
Can we get cock in the garden so we can pair an LP, baby? Let's pair some cock with some jewel. Yes, I love it. Okay, so all right, so karate. Now I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. There's a pretty big unlock coming in May. Trying to get to the bottom of that with only LARPing and Seth with Mind Your Biz. I messaged him today about it. From what it looks like in the white paper, there's some big token unlocks coming in May. Now I'll get to the bottom of that and report back. But for this up and coming fight, I couldn't be more bullish on karate token.
Like especially with you guys, man. Like you just said, when George is going to want to drive viewership into that fight, and by doing, and the way to do that is him talking about it on his channel, and all the other influencers in IFC that are, partnering with karate. It's kind of a no-brainer.
And along with, so those are people who actually know how to do Web3, plus the Web2 people. It's going to be an entry point for tons of new people coming into crypto. I mean, it's already an established platform with Bass Rutten and George St. Pierre, like goats of UFC, promoting it, along with Joe Rogan multiple times promoting it. Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. I mean, the list goes on. We got movie stars coming to these events. It's growing. It's growing on
like
YouTube.
Only LARPing. That dude's a hustler, man. I could tell by the way he grinds on X. That's the kind of guys you want to get behind, is people that got that passion about their project, like Only LARPing.
That's right. And so if you just came in, we talked a lot about the karate training and the karate fight earlier, but also in this vintage shop, DFK has a partnership with karate. And I think it was Franz with Bogside Chats, baby. Shout out to those guys. We had Matty Peskin here.
Yep.
He said that, I think it was on this last one, which I bought, some of the karate stuff. There's also, we get an airdrop of the karate token for buying the gis and buying the stuff. And he said on this last one, it's like you got paid in karate token, more karate token than what it even cost to buy.
Yeah, and I think it's the same as it sits right now with this champion gi. Basically, you get a free gi from DFK and some free karate token just for putting in your HBAR address when you purchase the gi.
Yeah. So, and when does that come? Has the karate token already been sent from the last one yet? Do we know?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I'm sure that'll come sometime soon. But yeah. So you spend $10. So like I'm like in this dilemma. Do I do liquidity? Should I? So I'm like switching it up. I'll buy a gi and then I'll do some liquidity and then I'll buy a gi and do other liquidity and just little by little. Because you get $16 worth of karate token for buying a $10 gi or something. I think that's how it was on this last event. Wasn't that the final numbers? If I understood that correctly, the final numbers on this last karate gi event that just ended, there's a new one up now and it's the same. You buy this stuff, you get karate token dropped. It's a win-win. It's a win for DeFi Kingdoms. And here's how it's a win for karate.com and that project is that it will bring people in to bet on the fights. The goal is to get people into their ecosystem to bet on the fights. That's the whole point of it. And to buy up some more karate token to bet, I've been DCAing into that karate token and then it pumped, man. And it pumped because of this fight that just got announced. You got all these new people in the ecosystem wanting to bet on these fights on Friday, this coming Friday. They didn't have enough karate tokens. So we just look at what karate token, it did like 50% in one day. So, I mean, it was like around 30 to 40 cents for a few weeks there. And then it pumped all the way up to 65 cents. Now it's like 50 some cents. I mean, 0.005 cents, less than a penny, right? I think per token.
I'm looking.
And so it would not surprise me if the karate token went up to 1 penny, which is like another 2x from here. Easy. Because the users in this last event went from 5,500 users to over 11,000 users. How is that not go to 50,000 users? We're going to see in this Friday, we're going to see what it gets up to now. This isn't even the IFC. If this is like a spur of the moment, out of nowhere event, I bet it's over 20,000 users.
So CoinMarketCap has basically almost identical market cap as DeFi Kingdoms. 25.4 million for karate, 22.7 million for DFK.
Yeah.
But karate rank 2,400 in rankings on CoinMarketCap. So a lot of potential there, man.
Oh, interesting. I think it's actually like in the 600s or 500s.
Yeah, sometimes this is wrong.
Yeah, I think that's wrong because 25 million market cap is like 600 or 700 rank range. And so, but it's like, this is like $1 billion project easy. How is this coin? It's full utility coin.
Combat sports, man, are so freaking huge, dude.
The platform's already set up. The utility's there. The marketing's there. Jake Paul talking about it. I mean, good Lord. We've got Bass Rutten. I saw him on some commercial on TV on the football game. Or where was it? I see him all over the place. George St. Pierre. Like, hello. You talk about upside here. Now we're going to have the Web 3 people getting in. The Web 2 people will keep, kind of trickling in. Especially if we get a
constant stream of new money coming in.
That's just new money coming in. Baby. So look out. And they're directly partnered and tight with, I've got a direct line to the co-founder of Karate Combat. I talk to him on a regular. Like, hello. What on earth? Like, we got Warren Sapp in there doing spaces with Moon Daddy, okay, who knows all about karate.com now because he knows Ramel well, and Ramel's fighting in this fight. You think that won't catch his attention?
Yeah, if you're in DeFi Kingdoms and you're not taking advantage of this partnership, man, I don't know what to tell you because this is what we've been dreaming about, in the bear, where these kind of partnerships with great up and coming projects that aren't in our world, and now we have this chain to them. I mean, it's a great opportunity in my eyes.
So with karate, you just go to karate.com and it'll immediately do it on your phone, and it'll all but make you go download the app on the App Store. If you go to karate.com and then and that's an HBAR address. You get that HBAR address, you can put it here in the Visage shop. You can send in HBAR to the app. You can buy the karate token right there through the HBAR. You can even do it from, a credit card and pay probably some fees. They've got a fiat on-ramp now built in on that app to make it even easier. Or you can buy karate token like on Mexi or KuCoin, send it right in on the HBAR.
Here, I'll put the link for karate's website.
Yeah, it's just karate.com. Karate.com. Now, if you're in MetaMask and you want to mess with Ethereum network, in MetaMask, you can go to app.karate.com. You can buy the karate token also on Uniswap on the Ethereum
That's what
chain,
I do.
Which I hated doing that because of the ETH fees.
Yeah.
But so I like doing it.
I'm in my account, and it's like the easiest. So.
Yeah, it was easy. But it's like, geez, the Ethereum fees. It was more ideal. Like, had on the fights that I wanted to go heavy in on the token, to do that on that and not I like spread out all my karate token across all the fights on the last one and claimed them all my winnings. And it was like $50 in ETH fees or something, or $60. Like, damn it.
Will you explain to everybody how the bets work and how the payouts work if you win or if you lose on who you pick?
Right. So if you bet and you lose the bet, you get 100% of your Crotty token back. If you win the bet, you get a small winning. So you get all your original token back plus additional. Now it's based off the odds. So for example, I bet 100,000 Crotty token on Sam Alvey, and I won because Sam Alvey won. I got 30,000 Crotty tokens. And then I had another one where I did 100,000 tokens and won, and I only won like 10,000 instead of 30,000. Well, that's because that guy that won, where I got the 10,000 tokens, he was the favorite to win. So it's based off the betting odds.
That
Okay.
makes sense though. If you're an underdog, then you're gonna get better payout if your guy wins, right?
You get a better payout. So you're so incentivized to make the right pick. And now you can multi-wallet it. You can even game the system. But that can also hurt you too if you do that too much. I realized on this last fight, because I was like hedging my bets, and I probably would have won more had I just stuck with one wallet, all my tokens in one wallet, actually. Because the other wallet where I made like my other picks, I didn't win much there anyways. So when I did the multi-walleting angle because I had two wallets. So
can we already make our picks on the fight that's Friday at Sid's mom's house or whatever? Where
I
Rick
think that
Ross is going to be there too.
I want to say that opens up on Tuesday or Wednesday.
So
Or
that's how
maybe
people have
even
been
tomorrow,
stacking.
whenever that opens up, and you have to have your Karate token in the wallet before the betting opens.
That's
if
big.
you wait to send it in, it's too late. You can't use that token to bet. It has to be in there before the betting opens, and they'll announce the time you have to have the Karate token in there by. I missed it on a lot of my token last time, and it burned.
I'm going to do mine this time. I didn't get to bet on the 40 KC 43, but I figured this weekend would be a good one to kind of get your feet wet for your fight coming up.
Yeah, and so when we talk about the inflation on that side of things, okay, at first I was concerned about the inflation, but it's like it's not like you win this huge winning and you're just going to go dump a whole bunch of Karate token necessarily. So especially which is going to outpace, the dumpers or the buyers? This, in my opinion, is so undervalued. This is like $1 billion project in my mind. It's got an already established marketing system, already everything's established. You've got all the big dogs talking about it. It's all there. You got big fighters fighting in it now. It's like, hello? And really,
it's just going to keep ramping up.
No brainer. Real utility, already established. Now, I'll get back to you guys on the token token unlocks. That's in May that I'm like scratching my head about when I read the white paper. But up until then, leading up to them, or at least leading up to our fight, which is going to bring on so many people, especially if they get a Nate Diaz, a Jake Paul, or some other big fighter, which they're working on around the clock.
Oh, wow. Fubar says the league's been around for over 6 years. I didn't know that.
Yes, it has. The league's been around. Karate, actually, it's been around even longer than that. I found out, but not the token, not the whole crypto aspect of it.
Right. That's new.
That's what's new. And like Bass Rutten hasn't been an ambassador for this, and it didn't have all the big names until more recent. So,
and that's just, to me, it feels like just the beginning of Utah, the big names that they're starting. People are taking notice, man. When you got Nate Diaz sitting on the side of the last event, and there were some other big names there, I think, that may not be fighters, but some, people that are recognizable. So that's just a precursor to, to what's the future.
Can you imagine if Jake Paul fights in this fight?
Dude.
Like we're talking, it won't take long. It'll be like we could easily 10x in 1 month. Easily 10x on that Karate token. And so I just keep DCAing in. I've been DCAing. I just had a lot of my karate token taken from me. All my karate token on the ETH app, but on my ETH wallet is now gone. So that one's like a stab in the gut. Yes, I'm so pumped for this fight. So in my mind, I'm so ready. Like as far as the confidence, when I spar these guys and just own them up and down, left, right, and center, I own them. I've been
Once you told
owning
me you were
them.
sparring and you know getting a lot of reps in with that dude, I was like, oh yeah,
Oh,
baby. Now just combo that with the
absolutely
cardio.
owning them too. Just dominating,
Let's
dominating
go.
them. And finally got a guy to lay into me and he rearranged my jaw. I was like, yeah. But you know what was so weird was, I mean, he tagged me like 3 times. And
Now, what are the gloves like compared to what you're going to be wearing in the fight?
we
What you
were
got
doing
tagged
12
by?
rounds boxing gloves. Right. So, but it was like nothing. And so I'm like, bring it.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, bring it. So like, but just working on staying in the pocket when you take a punch and keep and like waiting for my quick jabs. Always, I just own them every time they try and
Nice.
do anything. All the best fighters in the gym, and it's like, coach, come on, like
They're like, he's
trying to
got
get
that
me.
old man strength, baby. Watch out.
Oh, it was. I couldn't even believe it myself how much I dominated. All these guys, they could literally run circles around me. They don't even get tired. I don't know how they do it. They can do jumping, flying, roundhouse kicks, and all this stuff. And I just go in there and own their ass.
Oh yeah.
It's so fun. And so I want to get some good footage of it. So I'll be trying to make some good footage of some like for real hardcore sparring with these badass fighters. All right.
Well, I'm glad your opponent is confident. I hope he's a little over confident
Oh,
because we
yeah.
know what that means, baby.
Oh, baby. So I'm pumped for all of this. Holy smokes, Kong. It's been an hour and a half. Like, we were trying to do a
Yeah, no,
short
it's
video. Okay.
yeah. I knew
So
this was
just,
going to happen.
we haven't even started yet on the DeFi Kingdoms Alpha
Got to
brain
do
dump.
another one dedicated to that, man, because there's just so much you got to talk about.
That's right. So I'm super bullish with these new hunts coming. KP. Oh, I'm not. So that's how I pulled my hamstring. I was working on stupid kicks. I was like, why am I even doing this? So
Yeah,
I'm like
just
not
stick
doing
to the.
anything that could potentially even like on Saturday, yesterday, my hamstring gave me a little kiss and said, hey, I'm still here. When I was
Mm-hmm.
working out, I was like, ooh,
Don't forget about me.
I'm like, okay, because I was practicing low kicks. And I was like, I told D-Ray, nope, no more kicks. Don't even suggest a kick. Like my coach is so checked out with me now, though. It's like that's been discouraging. So I'm trying to reel him back in and get my coach excited about these fights again. Okay. And get him to get excited about it. He just doesn't seem to care anymore. At first he was all pumped and then I don't know what happened. So anyways, I think he like gave up on me or something. So I'm like, come on. And it's been fun. I think I'm reeling him back in. Okay. It's like he wasn't even paying attention to my sparring either. It was like, come on.
It's like, come on, get back with it, man. Don't leave me.
Like, did you just not see me beat his ass? He didn't. It was like frustrating. So, anyways, okay. So much more stuff to talk about too. There's more alpha to drop. There's more projects to bring up. There's more upside projects. And there's a lot more to talk about with DeFi Kingdoms I want to talk about. But I'm so bullish with these KP. When's the next hunt coming out? And we'll have to use our own potions, which I'm so bullish on the items in the game because of that. There's going to be so much burned. Those items are going to pump hard. Now there's real utility for all these items. I'm thinking, unless I'm crazy, these items are going to be burning. We got all this gold burning like crazy. All these gold,
Yeah, and
all
I'll
this
tell you what,
gold.
man, the heroes that are used in the hunts. I don't know if you've been in the tavern in a while, bro, But you go up to a level 10 hero and a hunt hero that's used, they're not cheap. You know, there's a pretty solid floor on those, and I think that's going to continue to
baby.
intensify, man. Is these high level heroes are going to become more and more rare and more use case
Yeah,
with these
baby.
hunts.
So we need that. We need utility for the items, which that's coming from the potions, like 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 a freaking tsunami when that opens up. Another thing we need is pet utility, more pet utility. We need more utility for what was I just going to say? Utility for heroes with advanced and exalted abilities, gene abilities. That's going to be big for the ecosystem. So this is a lot of the stuff I want to brain dump. It's like, hey team, consider this. Like even from a marketing perspective, when you get,
Right.
if you got a room of 50 Albert Einsteins together and all they do is talk together and work on a project together, all these Albert Einsteins are freaking big brain guys, but they're in their little bubble, and these Albert Einsteins of this team needs help sometimes, I would say. And that's where Dreamer comes in. I've realized even more. Dreamer comes in. I think he gets this a lot. All the connections I had with Dreamer.
He's probably one of the few
It's like,
people that is on the same page with you in this regard.
yeah, I think so in a lot of ways. But it's like you get a bunch of Albert Einsteins in a room together, they're going to have some blind spots. They're expert. Yeah, they're going to be big brains solving the theory of relativity, but they're not going to be good communicators. They're not going to be. So I want to do a video that's like a brain dump team on like, okay, what should we prioritize on DFK? One thing we need to prioritize big time is the ecosystem of the game, aka value of items, value of pets, value of eggs. There needs to be attention on that just from a marketing standpoint. That will go so much further for the project than like just trying to market DeFi Kingdoms out there to people. When people start hearing about all the buzz, you know, when we first got into DeFi Kingdoms, we heard it freaking mooned at 1000x, Jewel 1000x, and you can get 1000% APR in the pools. And that got all the people. We had 55,000 people coming into the game, 55,000 daily active users. Okay. And then a subset of those people, most of those people were just like, good. For 2 months, I'm just in the pools. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about buying heroes. Well, then I see Christian Peters' video talking about his 400% APR on his heroes and questing, and he was making $600 a day. And it's, oh my gosh. And then I start Googling, you know, I start searching on YouTube. Okay. DeFi Kingdoms heroes. And like all these people are doing videos on DeFi Kingdoms questing, profitability and ROI, and all these people are getting all excited. And then you start looking at these heroes, and they're the most complex NFTs out there. And whoa. And then so I'm like, oh, you can summon these heroes together. And so I started looking at searching videos on how to summon. And there's all these YouTubers out there talking about summoning videos, and oh, there's stats and all these complexities, these heroes. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And like how the summoning chances and how like this will affect the heroes and the questing and how it works with the different stats. And oh my gosh, it's so cool. That's, and it, like subsets of people, that was the best marketing DFK ever did, was just the ecosystem pumping, the value of the heroes, the questing, the items pumping. Okay, that goes a long way, and that needs like careful attention from a marketing standpoint. So as something that the team needs to focus on, okay, as a priority, is the health of the ecosystem, the health of the items, the utility of the items. Well, guess what? That's coming now because potions are coming. And so that needs to be something to like keep a hot button on it. Value of pets, eggs, things like that. Okay. So that's what I want to do a big brain dump on. So, but I'm so bullish on Crystal being fully circulating, and it is burning like crazy. You guys, Crystal is burning so much faster than Jewel even. And it's like wowzers. And it's like one freaking penny. Okay. It's like 1/25th the value of Jewel or something, or 1/20th, let's say. Jade is. And so all these, and there's more coming. There's more the team has up their sleeves. All these different things the team's working on for utility for all this stuff. Utility for items, burning for items, utility for crystal, all the crystal burning, all the jewel burning, utility for the items with the potions. I mean, that gold is going to be burning. And so then on top of that, we get adoption. We get the bull run coming. Look out. So for like freaking pennies on the dollar, you got $5 you can put in the game. Okay. When I'm looking for these low cap gems that I'm searching for all the time, watching these channels, trying to get alpha at different places. Like I was in on Myro early. I was in on a lot of these tokens that have pumped here recently. Okay. And projects. There's several I want to drop on you guys. If you watch Crypto Seth, he talks about him. This guy, Crypto Galaxy, who's a total douche. I kept saying Digital Galaxy or Galaxy Digital or something on the last video. I was wrong. I meant to say Crypto Galaxy. The guy's like crazy narcissist. I don't really like him. And I don't
you can pick him.
Takes on projects. Like if he's not bullish about a project, I don't care. I just ignore that part of it. But if he is bullish on a project, he's bullish on so few.
Watch out.
Like, man, he was in on Neon before Neon like 40 or 50x. Neon's pumping again. So I try to get the alpha on all these things. And as I'm thinking about this, I'm like, okay, I'm broke as a joke. What are some good low cap coins that I like? CULO. At first I was going to put in like $50 and I did that. And then I was like, oh damn, like George is actually going to talk about this. All these, holy smokes. And I put in several $100s and that's like pumped. So, and I'm thinking, okay, with little amounts of money, it's not like you got to break the bank with these items at DeFi Kingdoms. There's so low liquidity. You can't even break the bank if you want to. That's the thing. There's not enough liquidity. Right. So like we just saw $4, like pumps iron scale, like 6 freaking percent, just $4 worth of iron scale purchase, for example. And that gets you 47,000 iron scale.
That is crazy to me that there's so little in there.
Yeah. So just imagine, okay, imagine when iron scale kind of goes back up to like why I think it could easily, all these items, once the potions come out, if new adoption comes, the bull run comes, we got new people talking about the game. We got the mythic swap coming where George is excited about all these different things happening in the ecosystem. The sentiment will turn. We've recently gotten a taste of it when Jewel went from 12 cents to 85 cents in one freaking week. It was the #1 gainer in coin market cap on a day, on a 7-day, and on a 30-day chart. And all of crypto.
And just look at how many people came onto. I saw so many people you've never seen come onto X strictly for degenning the token. Oh, that's it.
Oh my gosh, we have Blockchain Boy talking about it. Like all these big crypto YouTubers started talking about it. Like at least like, interesting. At least to that, it at least got a mention because of its pumping. All these new people coming in, Dreamers representing on this fight. I'll be representing on this fight. I won't be like shilling DeFi Kingdoms all the time because it's like comes off weird, but I'll definitely behind the scenes be representing. Like that last video I did with Crypto Seth was huge. Like if we could get Crypto Seth bullish on DeFi Kingdoms, look out. That like he makes the call and it pumps. Just his trading group alone will pump it. Okay. And there'll be a subset of those people that actually want to get into the game or actually want to do a little liquidity or maybe want to, stake some jewel or buy a few heroes and do some questing. And then, it trickles down into a few people getting in the game, like in all these different ecosystems. Right. And so as all these things come in, this is like when I talk sentiment, I talk momentum. It's so important. And that's where I want to add my thoughts to the team and just like almost do a video like DeFi Kingdoms team, hear me out here on things. And you're doing good. You're on a roll here and you're doing good. You're on the right track and hiring KP and do all these hiring workhorse. You're doing all the right things. You're out there on Twitter Spaces. Dreamers out there all over the place. He's fighting. Okay, so to really, let's bring this home. Let's focus our attention on the right things and look out on the upside that could come to this project. Look out. It's coming, man. It's coming. It's already happening. And then George will be talking about it again after it starts pumping. We'll have, and he still talks about it a little bit, gives it a little love. Has been, he's been hanging in there with it.
The move that it made just off those guys talking about it with no new players is insane to me.
Right.
So can you imagine when, you know, there's the coin starts pumping and you got new players and there's value? I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, I saw that. I said you need Synapse maybe is why that didn't go through.
Yes, Synapse is the chain, but you can do it right here. When you click this, you hit bridge tokens right here in the game. And so, yeah, you can bridge USDC, you know, from a lot of different chains, Arbitrum, you know, different things, and bridge it into the DFKChain. You can also do it. It's easy if you want to do it, send stuff to Klaytn. You could send the KLAY token in and buy some Jewel on the Klaytn chain and then bridge it into the DFK chain. There's lots of different ways we can do that. We need to do more DeFi Kingdoms for Beginners videos. Big time. Now, and if you're able to do that and get some money, there's so many different ways to get money into the DFK chain.
There's and KP's got some really good videos in regards to bringing in liquidity.
There's even like a fiat entry now. Buy tokens. Like, I think.
Oh yeah, we got fiat on ramps.
Yeah, there's on ramps now. Holiday. There's, you know, there's so much now that they're trying. So one of the big focuses, which is a good focus of the team, focusing on making it easy for new people to get in. And that is still a work in progress.
Yeah, for
sure.
But now that the infrastructure is there is huge for when, because you know when it happens, it's going to happen. You know, so this all has to be built out now so people can get in easily.
Right. And I think the team, they do have their first centralized exchange that has Jewel on the DFK chain. That is, what is the name of that?
Coin Store.
Coin Store. And I was like, I've never heard of Coin Store. But then I downloaded the app. I didn't have to KYC, and I was able to use it right away. It's just like MEXC. It's easy. So you can just send coins there and buy Jewel, which I did. I bought some other coins on it too. And you can send the Jewel in from there. That's one way. Coin Store, which we need to get that link in our description below.
Yeah, I'll add that.
Yeah. So, okay. So as far as being bullish, there's so many reasons to be bullish on the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. And I'm just talking to play around with a few dollars. So when I was thinking a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, how I don't have a whole bunch of money. I'm like running out of money. And then on top of that, I just got this last week, got scammed. It's even worse now. So how can I turn a little bit amount? Like where is the best risk versus reward opportunity out there? You can do meme,
right?
You know, all these little things, and I've been doing. But you talk about risk versus reward. There's so much reward on DeFi Kingdoms potential. Now there's risk there. DeFi Kingdoms could freaking tank. Who knows, right? But with the direction it's going and all
what we've been through, we kind of know that like, we're past that.
Yeah, and we just hit on so many reasons why Crypto Crow, he is like dead set on getting Charles Hoskinson himself, who came on our Twitter Spaces with Crow and I for 2 hours plus. He's trying to get him in a headlock to talk about getting DeFi Kingdoms on a Cardano EVM chain. He's like dead set on being a big part of the project, getting the freaking Crow Gi or Crow token, whatever, Visage. Okay. Along with there'll be a whole bunch more. Wait till we get a George Visage. Okay. Like he is dead set bullish on DeFi Kingdoms. Crypto Crow is like, that is so huge. Just that alone.
It's like an ace in the hole, just waiting to pull that card out, bro.
George is advising the project, helping with the partnerships, helping with all this stuff. There's so much in the works behind the scenes. It is like an iceberg that we barely see anything, of the iceberg. Christian Peter has even been talking about here lately how much his mind is blown and how much is actually going on behind the scenes that we don't even know about. It is like we barely see the tip of the iceberg, and underneath the water that we don't see, there's so much going. Sun Bear's got so much in the works. Dreamer's got so much in the works. I can tell you right now, there is so much going. George is helping with making connections. There's connections happening behind the scenes like crazy. So we've got these void hunts coming. We got expeditions coming. When the potions come, now we got to use freaking items in the game. Up to this point, we've had very low utility for items, like nothing but dump central. Now it's like, holy smokes, we're going to realize we need all these damn potions. Holy smokes, pump. Okay, so you talk about upside, high upside, low amount of risk, like as far as you don't have to put in a bunch of money. You can't put in a whole bunch of money in these items, like we just said. Like the most you want to buy for iron scale right now, for example, is $4. That's the biggest buy you want to make right now for iron scale. Otherwise, you're pumping the damn thing 10%. $4 is already pumping it. You're getting 47,000 iron scale for $4,
$4,
and that pumps it 6%. Then you can just throw that in liquidity and make all the freaking trading fees. Okay, and then the utility is coming. We have had little to no utility so far, like because nobody uses stones anymore, hardly. There's like low usage of stones. So now we've got big utility. How much crystals already? How long have we had void hunts out or boar hunts? How long? Like what? A few months, and we've
maybe
already had
2 months.
2 months. How much crystal's been burned? 340,000 crystal has been burned just from the boar hunts. People, what was it? 140 million gold burned. That's not even using the freaking potions. Wait until we got it. You know how much gold and tiers and items are going to be burned? We go from almost no utility to tons of utility overnight. And we're talking a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, however many items you have, it ain't enough.
Like, how about sailfish? We going to need the sailfish for these potions? We got a bunch of people out. We got a bunch of fishers out there in Serendale, questing, right? On Serendale, we got a bunch of fishers out there in Serendale questing for sailfish. No. The answer is no, we don't. I just freaking I pumped sailfish today like 10% by buying like $4 worth.
Don't sleep on sailfish.
And I literally just pumped it 10%. Where are we going to get all the sailfish to make these potions? Where do we go? Where do we get the sailfish? Where are we going to go to get that? We're going to go to the bazaar. I mean, maybe we can go to the bazaar. Let's check out the bazaar for sailfish here. All right. Maybe we can just come to the bazaar. No biggie. All right. Sailfish. Okay. All right. The buy part.
0.148.
Oh, wait. That's a big price gap there, isn't it? Oh, that's a problem.
14 cents for a sailfish? Or no, that's Jewel. That's Jewel. Sorry.
0.14 Jewel. Okay, when Jewel pumps up to $1, that will be 14 cents, baby. That's how I look at it right now. That is 14 cents, even though it's not actually.
Just move the decimal.
Okay, look at. I mean, we got a whole bunch of sailfish in this bazaar for sale, right? Oh, wait.
1,000, 2,000,
150, 300. Okay, how many sailfish are we going to need? Are like hundreds of people doing all these freaking void hunts. Like we've had hundreds of thousands of freaking boar hunts in 2 months or 3 months. We've burned 330 1,000 or 40,000 crystal.
We'll go to the alchemist real quick and see just part of that recipe as far as that sailfish.
Okay, let's do that real quick. Yeah, good point. Okay, which potions use sailfish? Okay. You know, I want to say it might actually just be the bigger potions.
I think so.
I think the
To
big.
me, what I've been noticing is the tears and the gold.
Yeah.
That are just evaporating out of my wallet.
Okay.
And that silver skim or whatever too is a good one.
Yeah, and Swift Thistle like crazy. Okay, so it's just the swiftness potion. Now, for some of the stones, you need it too. So that's where I was thinking. But the swiftness potion, you need it. The other one is Swift Thistle. Like, I am just stacking that Swift Thistle because you got to have that all over the place. You got to have that.
Yeah, it's required for just about everything.
You got to have Swift Thistle in the stamina vial.
And to make the big potions, you got to have the stamina vials, the small ones.
Right. Okay. So in the big potions are going to come into play now. So, okay. Thank God we won't need a whole bunch of sailfish, but we will need some sailfish. And guess what? There was like a few thousand sailfish in the bazaar. If you want to pay a half jewel per sailfish, yeah, there's a couple thousand in there. If you want to come in and buy them in liquidity, I've just pumped it like 10%. Like that. And I didn't even get that much. And I guess what? I did put it in liquidity so you can buy some of my sailfish that I just bought. And guess what that's going to do? When that happens, it's going to stack my jewel, baby. My sailfish bag goes down as a bunch of people go buy up all the sailfish. My sailfish bag in the liquidity goes down, but my jewel bag goes up. So that's why I'm creating that liquidity. Plus, I get a little bit of fees, I guess, you know. The Swift Thistle is even bigger. Now because of the Swift Thistle, there are more people, some foragers over there, but there's still not a ton of Swift Thistle out there. It doesn't take much. There's not near enough.
If you think about it, it's a perfect time to get back into these pools and create this liquidity because you're probably getting it close to the bottom. You know, the demand is going to be coming in soon. You know, you can stack you up some jewel and some fees, like you just said. I'll probably tomorrow start putting in some myself.
Yeah, I mean, another good point about gold and tiers. So tiers you got to have in every single one of these potions, by the way. Got to have tiers. You also got to have gold in every single one. And I think it's like more gold than even
to make go to the big potion. It takes quite a bit of each of those, I think,
through so much freaking gold.
Yeah, go to the big
why am I out of gold before I'm out of tiers? That was my thought. The whole time I'm crafting all my stones and potions when I just went on my binge of crafting stones and potions and creating liquidity with all that. By the way, there's liquidity for all that. Okay, in there. That opens up ARB opportunities and all kinds of stuff all over the place. Okay, so as I'm doing this, I kept thinking, okay, I'm going to run out of tiers first, but I was like trying to pace my buying of tiers. I didn't want to, I'd buy like 1,000 tiers at a time and then go use them and come back in and buy more tiers and then go use them. Guess what? I kept running out of gold before I was running out of tiers. Well, then on top of that, so I'm like super bullish on gold. Like there's just not enough of it. It's going to burn fast when all the utility of the potions come. Then on top of that, we do have yellow egg hatching coming at some point here. And then we'll have gold egg hatching, right? I don't know when that's coming, but I'm assuming that's in the somewhat near future, right? When the gold egg hatching comes. Whew. That's all the more gold burning central.
Well, it's gold eggs is going to be, I mean, we're assuming it's mounts, correct?
Yeah. And the big brains system of the gold egg in the marketplace, the way it like keeps going up. If I create a liquidity also for a little bit of liquidity for gold eggs, by the way.
Nice.
Okay. Which there's not much there. So
it's going to get bought up after this show.
like all these different angles of the game. That was part of what made it so fun. Outside of like the summoning, okay, when the utility comes in for the abilities, for the gene abilities, passives and active, like active 1, active 2, passive 1, passive 2, when those come in the hunts, and when pet utility comes in the hunts, those will be huge for the ecosystem too. Because when the utility of the skills or the abilities on the heroes, the genes, whatever the hell we're gonna freaking call them, damn it. Okay, when that comes in the hunts, in the combat system, we're gonna have more ALP About Life podcast guys out there, more Mythic Squad people degenerating out to summon, to use the Dark Summoner to be burning the heroes. This is the brain dump I want to do. We're gonna have, but it's so important that the team like has a proper focus on this. So they're all in the right direction. It's going in the right direction right now. But I want to like pin some of this down on a deeper brain dump with you guys. So because when we got the Dark Summoner working in full effect, we got the degeners going, trying to get those mythic Dread Knights with exalted abilities, right? That's what we all want.
Love those guys.
Like we need those. There's not hardly any, I don't even think there's any yet. Someday we're going to want a mythic Dread Knight with 4 exalted abilities, right? That's the ultimate goal, right? That'll be the ultimate hero. Well, I mean, I can't wait till that's even possible. And hey, now's the time to be doing that. By the way, while heroes are freaking so cheap, everything's so cheap, for your Mythic Squad guys out there doing that, shout out to those guys. About Life podcast doing his oregano, and you know, he's
I mean, those guys have figured out now how to create mythic heroes by dark summoning easy. Like they've figured out how to work the system to where they can, you know, get, because heroes are so cheap, you know, you can get a couple of cheap heroes and mutate them and have, you know, a bunch of times and get a mythic out of it. So.
Right. And then you're doing it, trying to get those abilities, and you just keep burning. So we want maximum incentivization for that.
Right.
Because so it helps the economy, in-game economy. There's so much big brain stuff. So when all this stuff, we've got all these different angles we can take, arbitrage opportunities. We got people that might just want to come in and quest. So they buy heroes and dump the items. We got people that just want to come in and maybe they want to dive deeper and they want to try and get those monster heroes in the Dark Summer. We got people coming in wanting to play the boar hunts. We got people coming in just for the liquidity. We got people coming in for all these different reasons to come into the game. We got third-party developers developing. We got these apps. All of a sudden, people get on adventures in DeFi Kingdoms now for the arbitrage opportunities. We got all these new third-party devs coming back alive, and all the buzz coming. All the YouTubers start coming back to life. We just saw it last month. We saw all these different people tweeting about DeFi Kingdoms. We got all these different things coming. It's coming, people. And so all these different avenues and facets in the game, that's what we want. That's how you market and pump the game, period. It's better than anything else we can do. Yes, it's huge. Doing things like doing the fight and marketing DeFi Kingdoms and, hey, there's a game out and all these different things. But when there's incentive to make tons of money and all these different angles you can take and all these different ways the YouTubers can create videos on how to do this, how to do that, all these different things going on, all these third-party developers developing cool things to enhance the game, third-party games, third-party devs developing on the DFKChain. That's a thriving ecosystem. That needs to be our number one focus here. That is how that is what will bring the weight and gold to this ecosystem when Dreamer's out there fighting this fight, when we're out there pumping this project, to guys like Crypto Crow, who's getting all excited about the nostalgia of the game and the heroes and the Gen Zeros and the abilities and the stats and the questing. And then we got crafting coming. We'll be able to craft items. We'll have weapons coming, all these different things and all these different angles that we can take in the game. Look out, baby. Value of items, 100x potential. For $5, you can get in here and spend 50 cents and buy up all these items and pair it with Jewel and liquidity. And look, you at that point, you spend $5, $10, $20, $30. Okay. Like a small position when I'm like buying this high upside project, when I'm buying this high upside project, like, you know, CULO, I'm like, oh, $50. Okay. I guess I should put in $100. Oh no, I want to, man, this has so much upside. I'll put in several $100s. Okay. Because I know it's going to pump. It was like a no brainer. I knew it was going to pump. And I tried to get the alpha out there to as many people as I could. Like, guys, this is freaking about to explode. And it did. Boom. Overnight. It was like a 6X. Okay. From that point, because George is about to, it just came out. It launches. George talks about it. Like, everybody's talking about it. Rodney's talking about it. Now we got Patty Stash talking about it. We got ChainID talking about it. Moon Daddy, we're on there. We got Warren Sapp, who's in on CULO, talking about it on Twitter Spaces, baby. Okay, that was just obvious. Well, when we get all this exposure we got coming for DeFi Kingdoms, okay, with all these different things, I mean, so I'm like, okay, most of the time, you know, you put in $100 into a project, you're thinking, dang it, that's not really very much. You're better putting like $1,000 in or a few $100s. But hey, you never know. You know, you could put $50 in this meme coin and it could 1000x, it could 100x. And then if it 100x's, $50 turns into $5,000. Awesome. Okay. On 100x. 50. Okay. Well, hey, look, you can put $50 in here and freaking buy up all these little freaking items in the game that we're going to need for all of them, by the way, because even the fish that you don't need for the potions, it's still gold. It's still gold. And I'm so bullish on gold. You put $50 in this thing, you create liquidity, and you pair it with Jewel. Like, talk about upside.
Both sides, rocket juice.
Small cap upside potential on a project here, baby. Look out. It's so big brains. Like the team it's literally like bigger brains than even what they're good for. It's like, it reminds me if there's like 10 Albert Einsteins all working together, like big brains, like solving the theory of relativity. And they're freaking living in their mom's basement doing it, you know, or something. Like solving world hunger and sending us all to Mars. Okay. Like solving how we can send the entire world population to the planet Mars and actually do it efficiently and effectively and then building colonies on Mars. Okay. Like that's the big brains aspect. But how do you like Albert Einstein wouldn't be able to communicate that to the world, even if they could do that. If you had a room full of 10 Albert Einsteins that sat together for 2 years straight, solving like how to fly the entire population of Earth to Mars and build colonies so we could like literally live on Mars, and they actually could do it, you know, they'd still be living in their mom's basement. That's my point there. Okay. All right. I love this. This is so fun.
That was a good one.
I love you, man. 2 hours and 13 minutes.
What's going on? Time warp. You're back in the time warp, baby.
Oh, I freaking love you guys. All right, guys. I got to go.
So much fun.
Baby. We're going to
thank all you guys for coming, man.
I'm going to do a fully dedicated video to brain dumping the DeFi ecosystem. Let's go. Love you, Kong. Peace out, people. Crypto Grady out, baby.